It's the real deal. But you do it together. You don't want to go to war with chemical companies and pharmaceutical companies. You bring them in. You make everybody share in the profit. And that's how we're doing it, you know?
It's a very important thing that you're doing with that. It's almost hard to kind of segue back to talking about your acting when you're doing so much good for the world.
Well, acting got me here.
But it did, yeah.
You wasted so much time watching me on screen that, you know, Vampire Diaries has been seen by over 1 billion people. So that's 1 in 8 people in the world. And we touched 1 billion people with Kiss the Ground, which was the first version of this. So like, these are big numbers. And so, you know, I always think of everything in the macro, but it's the micro that actually builds everything. And what's so special about being here together, wow, the back of the room cleared out. Was this something I said? But like, you know, it's why Paul and I built, I think this is in Torch Company, yeah. Paul and I built Brothers Bond. Has anyone had Brothers Bond bourbon? A couple of you. We just got authorized in Utah. I love this state. And I'm grateful for all the people that made it happen. I love this state. But boy, it's tough to deal with. But it's great. So it's a lot of great protective measures, but we did it. But, you know, I see things in like the macro, in like the large sort of global version. And what we learned from Vampire Diaries was this shared experience bonds people, which is why we called our company Brothers Bond. Because at the end of the day, the world's crazy right now, and I think that we could argue, actually we could not argue, that we need togetherness now more than ever. You know? So, that's what's made it. But so acting, that's how we got here. And Paul's still doing it. He's playing Captain Cock.
Well, speaking of that togetherness, I think maybe it's a good time to shift over to some fan questions.
Oh, heck yeah, this is about you.
Yeah.
What's up, Elsa? What's up, man?
So my question for you is, wondering if you could tell us some of your favorite experiences from working on Lost.
Oh, man. Let me tell you one of my not favorite experiences in Lost was dying. Was getting killed. Because I was so proud. I was like doing this panel thing with J.J. Abrams, and I was like, I was the first one cast. And then I was the first one killed. I was like, well, that sucked. Dude, that experience, so I don't know if you remember, I'll make this quick, but like in 2009 was Vampire Diaries. In 2004, when this show came out, ABC had a very long 9-string year of not so many great hits. The guy who was running the network, this guy Lloyd Braun, who's just a brother I love, was literally fired in the middle of us shooting our pilot of Lost. Now, he worked and greenlit that year Desperate Housewives, Lost, and Grey's Anatomy. 3 of the shows that literally changed network television. All on the same network, 2 nights around each other. You know what I mean? And they fired him in the middle of it. We were like, oh, what is going to happen to our show? And at the time, Lost was the most expensive pilot ever made, produced for television, $14.5 million. And in 2004, that was like $18 million. So it was a big deal. And we were bonded together. It was like I think there were 13 or 14 series regulars. No egos yet. No, it was just this amazing bonding experience. And I remember sitting there in the first table read, shooting the pilot, Damon and JJ and Brian Burke, and these people are, you know, like Damon and Burke, they're like family, you know? Sitting there doing this table read, and they all got us these camcorders. They spent a ton of money. We all got these first digital touch panel camcorders to just film everything. And we were all doing this table read under this big banyan tree looking out over the ocean, and I thought, whoa. We have made it. This is, I don't know how this thing's gonna do, but this is huge, right? And then we launched this thing. but we weren't on the schedule for the fall season that week. Because of the shift at ABC, and the new guy coming in was like, screw that. And Damon and JJ were like, screw you. We'll go anywhere. Put it on the schedule. And so Josh Holiday and I went on his boat. So we were waiting for the call, right? We were just fishing all day and just like, we never got the call. And it was like, oh, the show's not going. And we finally got it. And he was like, oh. And then this thing launched. And it was huge because there's 2 parts. In the first week, they were like, don't get too excited. It might drop off the next one. And the next one built and it built and it built. And we were just on this island together with this massive, massive hit television show. And you didn't feel it or see it or hear it, none of the noise, because you're on an island. And it was amazing. And so naturally, shooting these scenes with Terry O'Quinn, and my brother Matt Fox, and that whole cast, and John. Dude, one of the best lines ever. Where that table read was, all of our trailers were up on this mountain looking out over the beach there where the wreckage was. And Josh Holloway goes, damn, man, I grew up in a frickin' trailer only to move to Hollywood, now I'm living in another one. But it's on a mountain overlooking the ocean. I'll never forget that. And the rest is all history. Unbelievable.
Actually, I have a follow-up question for
Thanks
you.
for bringing me down memory lane, man. That was special.
Yeah, that's good. I actually have a follow-up question for
What's
you
that?
about Lost. How did that experience then prepare you for the Vampire Diaries, which is another thing that just like took off?
Yeah, it's called eating the most enormous slice of humble pie. Humility is your best friend. Let me tell you something. It really is. Because, you know, the thing about humility is like, if you don't seek humility, it will find you. It will. It's just a matter of how. So you want to control that narrative of how humility finds you. I had to leave Hawaii, and I went and did this big Weinstein movie. This is when Bob and Harvey were still running the Weinstein Company. And, I mean, that all went to shit. But this was a big movie, and, you know, after coming off of Lost, and it was my first chance to make a shit ton of money off of whatever fame I had built, and I was going to work hard to do it. And I went back to LA, and I went, you know what? Screw this network television shit. It's like, they call it the dog and pony show, you know? And you're young, I was like 26. I was like, screw it, man, I want to be, you know, Johnny Depp, and I want to go do theater on Broadway and stuff. And I did all of that, independent movies and all that stuff, and went, fell right off the map. Which was fine, because I was working on my, but I went back to Venice, California, and I built a house, and I just like found my, you know, I had to hunker down and get a massive amount of humble pie. And I was delivered this script from my agent, this Vampire Diaries script. And I loved, and it's like, vampires, Kevin Williamson. No. No. This is Twilight on TV. Screw that. And so I went about my business. And they were like, dude, are you sure? Yeah, I'm good. And then I realized, I was like, wait a minute. And like a month later, I called my agent, who'd been my agent since I was 18, and I said, dude, do you think that is still open, that role? And they went, probably not, man. This was like, in 2009, these roles in this silly little TV, this CW show, this was the pilot to get. Everyone wanted it. They saw 400 actors for David. 400. They couldn't find their guy, and they were pissed. And and then so I was just like, dude, this is Twilight on TV. This is ridiculous. What was I thinking? And I was in Las Vegas with my family. My niece and nephew were teeny tiny. And we had to take them to Circus to see the show. It wasn't ending until midnight. I was like, gonna get them home late. I get a call at 9 p.m. Hey, they said the role's still open. You've got 11 pages of sides sitting in your inbox, all revised, probably nothing you've read. You got to be on it. You have to be in Los Angeles tomorrow in that like CNN building at 11 sharp. That's all I got. And I was like, oh no. Can't let the kids down. I'm in Vegas. Okay, here we go. So I slept for a couple hours and I went down to the business center, printed out all the pages, taped them together, put them on the dashboard of my car, and then drove across the Mojave Desert at like 4 in the morning. And that's where I came up with Damon. Driving with a map light on, because if you drive super fast and you got your lights on, you'll get pulled over. So that's how I just worked on all that material. That's how I came up, where I came up with Damon. Was hauling ass in the Mojave Desert, like 5 cups of coffee, with everything taped to the dashboard. And it was so nice. As the sun came up, I was like, oh, finally I can read this shit without almost getting in a wreck. And that's how, and I did the work session. I did 2 hours in the work session. By the time I got down from the elevator into my car, I had already had an offer to test the show. But that's not where it ended. It was brutal to get it. It was like 10 days or 2 weeks of total hell. I crushed the studio. To book a TV show, you do work sessions, and then they mix you with other actors, and they do all this stuff, and you're going back and forth, and then you do a studio test, which was Warner Brothers. It was Peter Roth. It was like a dad to me, and a bunch of people I already knew. And then you do a network test. Oh, you have to stay focused, man. It's like, you ever see like a professional football, like a place kicker, when they're trying to kick the field goal, and everyone's like waving at them, you know? It's that kind of shit, because you're trying to dive into that role. And I failed, and I bombed my network test. Kevin Williamson, after the first take, he's like, hey guys, give me a second. And he walked out, and he closed the door, and he goes, well, that sucked. And I went, I know, dude. I don't know what happened. I think I'd gone home, I gave myself a B12 shot in the ass, drank too much coffee, like whatever, I was so psyched up, I couldn't like drop in and just be Damon. He goes, dude, just do what you did in the studio test. It's like 6-8 hours ago, dude, do that. And I kind of did, but then Les Moonves, who at the time was still running CBS and all that stuff, wanted to retest me. He was like, I don't want this guy. And so Kevin fought, he was like, nope. So they brought in another guy, and he was like trying to do all these like CIA, like psych someone out tactics, and I was like, no dude, this is my shit. And I just dropped in, and then got the call the next day. It was like, hey, by the way, you need to pack. You're leaving in like 24 hours. So that's how it happened. Crazy shit. I mean, that was crazy. So you see that this is not like unicorns and rainbows and shit. This is like, I lost like 6 pounds, ate all my fingernails. What's up, my friend?
Hi, Ian. My name is Annie.
What's up, Annie?
I was wondering, if you had a say, would Matt Donovan have survived the whole series?
Yeah. So in this, we only spread positivity and love. And here's the thing. Matt Donovan was one of us. And what I loved about this was this guy represented the good in humanity. And guess who didn't? Damon Salvatore. This guy was an asshole. He might have been funny and sexy and cute and all that stuff. This guy made really poor decisions. He hurt a lot of people. Guess what? Matt Donovan did not. He looked out for people. He took care of his town at great cost to himself and his own health, and almost dying about 9 million times. And so when the show ended, Paul and I wanted the boys to die, because we only saw it as fitting that after wreaking so much havoc and being so disrespectful to people and humanity in this town, that the boys would disappear and then the town could just go back. It was like it never happened. But underneath, you know, the underpinnings were, it was under there. So yeah, Matt Donovan should have gone on to be frickin' sheriff and then mayor and fucking governor. You know what I mean? That's what I think about Matt Donovan. You got to spread positivity and not all the other BS.
Great question.
And, by the way, Zachary George Roark is my dear little brother, and the people love that character because of how he is. He's a good human. So we want to celebrate that, not bitch about it.
What's your name?
What's your rock, man? Thanks, Andy. What's up, dude?
Hi, I'm Haley, and I was wondering if you were to play any other character in Vampire Diaries, who'd it be?
I would have been the craft service guy, because he had access to all the food. And I had to ask him all day long for stuff. I would have loved to not have to be so dependent on him. There's so many great roles in this show. I mean, I can't imagine being anyone other than Damon at this point, because I'm so galvanized in my brain. But I loved a lot of these characters. Lark was an amazing character. Stefan was an amazing character. Enzo was an amazing character. Freaking, you know, all the originals, you know, which I was so vocally pissed about that whole thing. They brought in can you guys hear me back there? Yeah! They brought in all these amazing characters with all these like classically trained actors, all these killer accents, and brought so much oomph to our show, and then they freaking left. I was mad. I went to the head of the studio, I went to the head of the network, I went to Julie, Kevin, I was like, you guys just want to start on the show so you can make more money. But you took away all these great actors. Now you're leaving me with all these American kids again. Who are not classically trained. Who don't have all these accents and say, Rebecca. I was mad. Klaus was another killer character, but I didn't have the accent. Elijah was a great character. He was a loony. I love him. Yeah, there were so many great characters. I mean, I would have been happy to get any one of those characters in 2009, as I was just like, I need to take control of my life and dive in and book the roles I want. Because I was in that in-between mode where I'd come off of a big show and I'd just done some big Weinstein movie. But like, when you're getting scripts and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, Jake Gyllenhaal's reading this weekend. You're like, oh, well, what's the point? And then you also have to pay him $35,000 to read a script. So I was like, he's probably gonna do, like, I was in competition and that kind of shit. I was like, gosh, I gotta be original and I just gotta dive in and use every single thing I have in my, like, from a cellular level to make this character real. And the one thing I learned from Boone was to not take yourself so seriously. When I was playing Boone, I was 25. Much like Paul, when he was playing Stefan, he was 26. He took everything so seriously. It was miserable. Even he'll tell you that. Find the levity, because humor is a medicine for pain. And we all have a tremendous amount of pain in our world. We use humor as a Band-Aid, as medicine. That's what people want to see. Not some brooding, white, rich kid with blue eyes in a frickin' island. They want to see levity and they want to see layers. And that's where I effed up on Boone. I didn't bring that to him. And then he met the stroke of the pen. Well, not the pen, the keystroke. Can you believe I fell Boone fell 30,000 feet out of an L-1011, which is basically like a 777, and survived. And then I fell 30 feet out of a Beechcraft and died. Do you know how embarrassing that is? That shit hurt. So I would have played any character in Vampire Diaries and I would have killed it. I would have crushed it because I had to. And it was so wild that you think about this too, and it's so awesome because so many of you have brought me these pictures of Boone to sign. Also too, Boone seems like he was always kind of like half naked on a beach. Not bad. Hey, look, man, I was 25. I was in sick shape. I wasn't running 2 companies and traveling the world as much as I am now. I'll do 120 flights this year, which is crazy. I leave here and I take a red-eye to France. I land, I do a massive conference for Brothers Bond and Absorb. It's all the global travel retail, like the biggest meetings in the world. I do that for 2 days and then I go somewhere else. But like, then I go to Germany and work again. But it's magical, right? We're launching in like 48 countries. I have a huge deal with this. It's the largest, I think, largest family-owned duty-free company in the world. It's called Heinemann. They've taken us under their wing and like we're just exploding. I mean, we're like, Brothers Bond was authorized in like 48 countries last week. I mean, it's crazy, insane growth. But like, you all helped me get to this place of saying, hey, you know, we all want so much change in the world. Everyone wants to start a nonprofit to do it. It doesn't work, unfortunately. And your efforts don't work. They're very special, and kudos to you for doing it. I did it too, and I ran it for 10 years. And the reason I dissolved it was, which I got to do a lot of great things with public money. I got to give Jane Goodall $1 million for roots and shoots and like really cool shit. But if you ever want to change the world, don't start a nonprofit. Start a for-profit that feeds that nonprofit. Make money doing things that people need, right? And that's what I learned. And it's been unbelievable building these like, you know, billion-dollar companies, Brothers Bond and an absorption company and launching these films where, you know, like, it's just crazy. It's amazing. So thank you for helping me get here where we're going to actually do some serious good for communities and for the planet, ultimately. So thank you. It wasn't a total waste of your time. What were you going to say, my friend?
Hi, Ian. I gave you the silver Sharpie the other day.
Yes, and by the way, thank you.
You're welcome.
I crushed that thing. It's now dead, but I use it on naked pictures of Boone.
Oh, it went to a good cause.
Nice.
One thing I've always loved about the Vampire Diaries is there's some really incredible music moments. So
Yes.
I have my favorites. I'm wondering what your favorites are.
So, crazy thing. So the season 1, obviously soundtracks are compilations of songs, right? The season 1 Vampire Diaries soundtrack, I'll have to look. It was because I was at Capitol Records signing a bunch of things, and they were like, oh yeah. It was like a 10 or 15x platinum album. It sold like 15 million copies. It's crazy. Music moments were amazing. We had incredible music supervisors. Julie and Kevin are much more like soppy teenagers than we are. But they knew what was going to hit. And I remember we offered, I think Taylor Swift, we offered her this role, and she was like, no. But Taylor Kinney was engaged to Lady Gaga when we were, well, they weren't engaged yet, but they were boyfriend and girlfriend. And Stephanie, or Lady Gaga, would come to Georgia and spend time on our set. Mind you, this isn't like 2010, 11. She was literally the biggest thing since like sliced bread. And she would be on set in like, you know, no bra, fishnets, with her hands on, just like hanging out, chewing gum, drinking coffee, watching her super handsome and awesome boyfriend on screen. Then all of a sudden, every producer was all of a sudden there. Every actor who wasn't working was all of a sudden there. And it was just the funniest thing. So that was really special, but we had incredible music, and it really lifted and elevated, these moments. And we had some big artists with really awesome songs, and they really did tear-jerk. At the time, sometimes I really disagreed with it because I wanted more, like kind of harder, cooler shit. But it really did it really played your heartstrings like a fiddle. And so we were all in that same space. So yeah, I would go to the mixing stage sometimes and I was like, oh no. But then you see it on screen and then you see how much it affects people. Music is so important. And we are so fortunate. We had a teeny tiny music budget, but sometimes when you needed it, they would spring for the songs that we needed. And it's very, 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 very special. So thanks, man. And thanks for that Sharpie, dog.
Are these open opportunities for filming?
What's your name?
Guys, thank you so much
yeah,
for
as long as
spending
you-
time with me. I know there's like so many other things
Alright.
that you could be doing, and I know everyone else coming in here is probably waiting for like coming in for William Shatner or something. I don't know what you guys are coming in for, but
You.
at least you're here, and thank you. What's up, my friend?
I am Crystal.
Hey, Crystal.
I don't have a question about your acting or anything.
Oh, thank God.
I love the Vampire Diaries, but I suffer from fibromyalgia, and so I'm always tired and always in pain. And I was watching your Facebook, and you bring up the drink that you came up with, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it helps with fibromyalgia and tiredness.
So interesting enough. So I'm obviously not a doctor, so I can't prescribe anything. And there are medical terms I'm not allowed to say in public. Like I can't use the word anxiety because it's a medical term and I'm not a doctor. But, so one of the real working components that really sucks about fibromyalgia, well, one of the biggest things in society right now that sucks about not just what you're suffering from, and I'm sorry, fibromyalgia is a bitch, and I know a lot about it. From a societal standpoint, our bodies are just under attack. We have a broken food system, we have a broken water system, our financial systems and our educational systems are really kind of broken right now. And what it's leading to are a lot of these diseases and disorders that should not actually be here. We're destroying our gut microbiome and artificial sweeteners and drinking municipal water supplies that are loaded with forever chemicals and chlorine. We should definitely be filtering everything we drink and eating food that's, it's so funny to hear like, eat your fruits and veggies, except our fruits and veggies are covered in frickin' pesticides and chemicals. So that all is about to change. All of it. And so for people like you who are struggling and dealing with something like fibromyalgia, one of the biggest components right now is bioavailability. And it's a word I'm sure you've all started hearing a lot. It just means absorption. That's why we named this the absorption company. Like, what else in the hell are we going to name this? It's just about absorbing. And so we've worked our asses off. What we have, so Restore, a lot of the people I know with fibromyalgia are taking Restore. It's giving a really great electrolyte stack or blend, the right one, with nanometric vitamin C and nanometric glutathione. Glutathione is like literally the master detox. It's something your body needs very badly, but a lot of times it's just not available. You can't. Think about this. 84% of the stuff you take doesn't get absorbed. Doesn't that make you a little sad? How much money you're spending, hard-earned money? That did not sit right with me and Nikki. It just didn't. So we went on this 10-year journey to basically create something that, basically we have a patented piece of technology that allows us to take any sort of, most liposomal materials, right? So fat soluble, you've heard that word a million times, liposomal. You need nutrients to be in a liposomal form for your body to actually use it. It's gooey, it's stinky, it's a pain in the ass, and it's not necessarily water soluble. We can take those fat soluble molecules now and turn them into a water soluble molecule. That can be shaken and drink, but it is a nanometric particle that is 500% more absorbable than anything else on the market. It's kind of huge. So, especially with the sleep and the inflammation and stuff, energy, it's like something you've never had, right? There's no jitters and no crash. Restore is like those hydration drinks out there, most of them are sugar. I'm sorry, they're crap. This is 0 sugar, and it's the best stack you'll ever see. Plus, it's not just a hydration play, it's an immune play. Then there's one called Calm. I'm sure I know a lot of you have had it. Again, I'm not a doctor. I can't say the word anxiety in public. Let's just say we know a lot of us and a lot of people around us are experiencing a lot of stress. Let's call it stress. This wipes it out. We have a nanometric version of saffron that changes lives. I highly recommend it. And then our sleep. People haven't slept in 25 years, we're sleeping. And so this is just the beginning. We haven't even launched in the single supplements, which we just launched the magnesium one, which is 260% more absorbable than anything on the market. I mean, other than getting an IV. Guys, this is huge. This is category defining. This is going to change the supplement business, which is a $55 billion a year industry. You guys are spending $55 billion a year, and only 16% of it is actually being used by your body. So I'm really excited and proud to tell you, we haven't even gotten into kids yet. Wait till you see that. I mean, we're about to shift the entire narrative of the supplement business. So go on our website, ask the question, and you'll start to see a lot of the answers. Because we're super duper, we're very fast with our answers. We pride ourselves in our, what do you call it when you have customer service where somebody comes back to you? I think we have like a 4 to 7 hour response time. This platform is what allowed us to do that. Who would have ever thought that a freaking vampire film series and a vampire TV series would allow us to effectively shift an entire agricultural economy worth $1 trillion a year, and a supplement business, which right now it's $55 billion a year. By 2032, it will be a $77 billion a year industry. And it's built to make money off of you without shit working. It's completely unregulated. Can you believe it? Like, the stuff you have to go through to produce like a sugary, poisonous drink is like less than the regulation in the supplement business. So this is how we do it. We do it through looking out for our family and your families. And then all of a sudden you shift industries. You change paradigms. And you build insane amounts of productivity, efficacy, and money. Because at the end of the day, we all want to feel good and we just want to provide for our families. Or if you're in college, you just want to feel good. Do the best you can. So that's what I wake up in the middle of the night figuring out for all of us. So I love you for that. Thank you.
What's your name?
What's going on? Tell me.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth.
What's up, Elizabeth?
First, I wanted to say Brothers Bond is my favorite bourbon, so thank you so much for making it with Paul.
Thank you.
And I want to know...
Biggest mistake of my life. 8 years on set with this guy, and now another 20 years building this company together. What the was I thinking?
Something amazing, I guess.
Well, the one two of them we just released, the Cask and the Bottled and Bond. The Bottled and Bond is rated as one of the top 5 whiskeys in the world. As is the Cask. Isn't that crazy? In the world. That's insane. So keep going. Sorry.
All good. I wanted to know, when did you first feel so strong a brotherly bond with Paul? And did you have a specific flavor palette in mind when you first went about making your bourbon?
They gave us drugs to make each other love each other. No. They gave us oxytocin. They were like, oh, I love you, brother. No, we went to get our fangs fitted in Burbank the day after we got the show. And I was like, man, this guy's gonna be like my brother for 5 years, you know? 17 years later, almost. We bonded because we knew we needed to bond. And we wanted, like, we got compartments next to each other and all this stuff. We wanted a flavor profile that had 2 core foundational tenets. One of them was immediate approachability. Like, you or my 74-year-old mom, or my 85-year-old dad, or anyone can sip this out of the bottle and it's delicious. But it had to have a complexity and a nuance that even the snootiest, bitchiest, bearded bourbon drinker like me, or a lot of guys in this room, and I love you for it, could sip this and say, wait a minute, this is really well crafted. That's what we went for. And the proof was in the pudding, because that same mash bill is what is now rated as one of the top 5 in the world. So thank God it worked. Oh my God. Because celebrity spirits brands can be total crap. This is what we put our lives into. So, and we've gotten to change the narrative and use regenerative agriculture. Next week, and I'm not missing out on you, don't worry. Next week, we're shipping like almost 1 million pounds of grain, regenerative grain, Brothers Bond grain, from Rick Clark's farm to Indiana to our distillery. Almost 1 million pounds of regenerative grain. So we're changing the way it's done. So thank you for supporting us in that endeavor. Thank you. You rock, Elizabeth. What's up, my friend? How are you, kiddo?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm freaking awesome, dude. I can't believe it. Where's your parents? Oh, there you are. We did a short film together with Walton Goggins, like literally 22 years ago. And I'm here now with you and Monet and what's your name again?
Lila.
Lila. It's the coolest thing. So he sketched this. It was bullhorns that were sitting on the back of the set. And I sat down on the set and they fell. And they hit my nose. And his amazing wife was the makeup artist. And it bubbled up and she had to cover it. Well, if you look, zoom in, see this lump? Gave me a little bit of a Roman nose. That was from this accident on set. And you sketched with my face in that thing. And it's the coolest thing, man. I'm gonna frame that thing. But to be here with your little ones, when Monet was like, you were, I think like 1 or 2 or something. Oh, you were in the belly. Oh my gosh. This is just so cool. It's so great to see you out, finally, kid. What were you gonna ask,
I was just wondering if there was anything special that you learned, either about yourself or just about, I guess, life when you started filming Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, you know what? I really learned. So I worked with this woman named Ivana Chubbuck. She's an incredibly famous acting coach. I really learned that in order for people to want to watch you, to take time out of your life, you want to feel like it's your job as an actor to make that character come to life, what's on the page, whether you agree with it or not. That's your job. And I always hear people in acting say, oh, I lie for a living. But I think it's the opposite. You tell the truth for a living, because in that moment, it's your job to find truth in whatever that line is. And I don't anymore because I retired from acting, but like, I use the system called substitution. So it's super complex, it's not for everyone. You find substitutes for every single character that you're talking to. So I might be doing a scene with Paul as Stefan, but I'm actually talking to my mom. But that's real for me. I don't even see Paul anymore, and his scowl. And that made it real. It also made it vulnerable. That's why people love that character. There was vulnerability, but there was levity. And even in the darkest, deepest, most effed up moments in Vampire Diaries with Damon, there was still levity. Still was taking it seriously, but to craft a performance and push yourself to do it. That's what I learned. You have to do the work. Life is about showing up and doing the work and not complaining about anything, because it shows you're not doing the work. And I learned to tell the truth, use humor as that medicine, and find that thing in myself to just push harder every day. Never make excuses. That's the big thing. It's so easy to fall into that trap. And you actually have to be stronger than your excuses. And sometimes that's really hard. But once you start doing it, you wake up every morning and you're like, oh man, I was gonna fall into those excuses yesterday and I didn't. And you're like, oh wait, I am capable of that. So it's not even possible. It's probable. You can do it. and it's one little step at a time. One little step at a time. And we built this film series. 1.2 billion people have seen it and been inspired. A lot of you dads or boyfriends and husbands, I'm sorry, I know it's not necessarily inspiring, but at least you got to bond with your kids or your wife or your girlfriend or your parents. That's huge. It's changed my life for sure. It's not the easiest. You know, I travel with people who are constantly with me and looking after me, and it changes your life when 1 in 8 faces in the world know you, for sure. But I'm not complaining. I'm grateful for every granular moment of it. And so, if anything I learned was the only thing you're not capable of is the things you tell yourself you're not capable of. You can do absolutely anything. Because I'm a poor kid from Louisiana, you know? You can do anything. You put your mind to it, you can do anything. And so, I just want to say thank you for ice breaking. And I want to say thank you all for listening and hearing and being a part of this. This has been the most insane ride. And we are reaching a critical, pivotal inflection point in society where it's really dark out there, right? But when you really peel the onion back and you're like, let's just dissect this for a second. Let's just look at this like objectively, brass tacks. And I stay out of politics. Screw politics, right? Let's build systems that are impervious to regime changes, right? Don't worry about who comes in and out. Once we rebuild our soil, our human health and our economies are going to flourish. And as our human health goes up, what's going to come down? Human health care costs. So as our soil gets better and healthier, our food is going to get healthier. We're going to get healthier. And then all of a sudden, there's going to be more money. Systems are going to be flourishing and flush with cash. Smaller rural communities that had nothing are going to be flush with cash. And guess what? Our school districts are going to get better. Our water districts are going to get better. Our after-school programs are going to be implemented. We're going to have a healthy food system and a healthy society. So what we're going to do is, we're going to rebuild America from Main Street up, not Wall Street down. And that's how we do it. So I love and appreciate you all. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I'm not trying to sound preachy, it's just like, we have some serious shit going on. And while it seems so dark out there, I see the numbers, I see the data. Like, the future is bright. Get your broken sunglasses. And if you can, not if you can, when you can, like today, see this film, tee this film up on your Amazon Prime account. It's called Common Ground. I shit you not, I promise you. You see this film tonight, or this week, or this month, it will shift and change the way you see the world. You will feel a ray of hope, not even a ray of hope, freaking gamma ray of hope. A giant, radiating gamma ray of hope. And it'll shift the way you see things, I promise you. So, will you please just pinky swear that you'll see this movie?